Welcome to Port Huron, Michigan. You're watching the Gremlins Network. I'm Jim Flanagan. Happy to have you with us from wherever you may be. Semifinal matchup here in the Port Huron tournament, down to the final four teams. This one features the first place finisher in pool play. The New York Gremlins, they finished with a 3-0 record, and they'll be taking on the AWP Lumberjacks from Du Quoin, Illinois. They finished with a 1-2 record. They come in as the number 4 seed. The other game going on at a different field right now, 9 a.m., 2 versus 3, and that would be the Northeast Drillers taking on Bear Creek Express. The winners of the 9 a.m. games will meet at noon for the showdown in the championship game, and we're underway. First pitch swinging is Valdi Turkelson, lifts a little single into left field, so he's aboard of the base hit. We'll get to the lineups as we can, just going on the air right at game time. Much cooler here today in Port Huron. We had temperatures in the 80s. This morning, probably in the 50s with a bit of wind. We'll see how that factors in. At the plate, Fede Adair, first pitch swing, and he hits a short way over to Mr. Malarzuk for the force out, so Turkelson erased. And Adair down at first base with the fielder's choice. Jonathan Lynch will be lined up there. You see on your screen, Turkelson leading off, Fede Adair. We've already seen we're down to the 3 spot. Jonathan Lynch, Fede Olheiser will bat 4th. Cody Pennebecker will bat 5th. Cisco Sabate 6th. Tyler Bully 7th. Juan Vala in the 8th spot, and Ivan Sachs, the catcher, will be in the 9th spot. That's the way the Lumberjacks shake up here on Championship Sunday. Want to say a quick thank you to our friend Luciano and Softball Premier TV with all those great graphics there on the screen. You see the defense set for the Gremlins in the outfield. Matthew Waugh in left, Benny Noka in center, and Lucio Redemar back in the lineup in right field. Around the diamond, or around the infield, familiar faces: Jerome Remeke at third, Cole Evans at short, Ladislao Malarzuk at second, and Eric Ochoa at first. And it is Cole Evans going back on the grass to make a catch of that little pop-up. So second out of the inning on the pop-out. That'll bring Fede Olheiser to the dish. Fede playing at third base, so it's Fede Olheiser at third, and right next to him, Fede Adair on the left side of that infield. And he is first pitch swinging, as seems to be the case for all of these hitters. I guess you make it to Championship Sunday, no point in taking pitches or waiting around for something. You see a pitch you like, you jump all over it. The battery for the Gremlins we left out. Nick Mullins is the catcher. And in the circle doing the pitching, Ty Sebastian. Ty, we mentioned yesterday, on loan, so to speak, from the Toronto Batman team. They didn't come to the tournament, but Ty is here as a member of the New York Gremlins and getting a start here on Sunday. Misses high and inside with that one on the wild pitch. Down to second goes Fede Adair. Wild pitch pass ball, will let you make the call. It was well up in the strike zone. Nick got a piece of it, but not enough to slow it down. The Gremlins won their game on Friday night over the Northeast Drillers by a 1-0 score. Pitchers duel between Jack Besgrove for the Gremlins and Martin Gonzalez for the Drillers. Both pitched outstanding games. Foul up and out of play on the right side on that one. The only run that scored was a leadoff home run by Lucio Redemar, the Gremlins. Other than that, the two pitchers were perfect the rest of the way. Gremlin defense and the pitching of Jack Besgrove capping that one for their first win. That one foul over to Remeke. Gremlins played 2 yesterday. Yesterday afternoon, they were at the other field. Caught some rain on Friday night, so they moved that game over, let this field dry. They beat the Ohio Bombers 11-0, scoring all 11 runs in the very first inning. Misses downstairs with that one. So the count runs full, 3-2 on Fede Olheiser. Just underway here, first inning action in this semifinal game. If you joined us late, grab a seat, something to drink or eat, and settle in. We'll be here for 2 today. Swing and a miss on a good rise ball from Sebastian, so he notches his first strikeout of the game. Side retired. For the Lumberjacks, no runs, a hit. A man left, and we head to the home half of the first inning. We'll get our first look at the Gremlin batters here on Championship Sunday. We'll be right back. Home half of the first inning, you're watching the Port Huron tournament here on the Gremlins Network, courtesy of our friends at Softball Premier TV. There you see the beautiful St. Clair River as it feeds into Lake Huron. Beautiful backdrop for this tournament all week long. That is directly across the street. We can see it from where we sit. Great setting for this fastball tournament. Very fast pitch driven town here in Port Huron. Lots of history back in the 70s and 80s. Some national champions came out of here. Stopped that for a while, and they are happy to see these teams back in town. Let's get a look at the lineups for the Gremlins in defense for AWP. For the Gremlins, Matthew Waugh will be back in the leadoff spot. Jerome Remeke in the 2 spot. Benny Noka hitting 3. Eric Ochoa in the cleanup spot. Cole Evans batting 5. Blake Hunter 6. Lucio Redemar 7th. Ladislao Malarzuk in the 8 spot. And catcher Nick Mullins batting 9th. And Matthew Waugh gets down a good bunt, but all over it is Kilpatrick. Nice defensive play by the left-hander. Jumps on that one like a cat, and a quick throw. Watch the replay. Perfectly played. Doesn't hurt that he's left-handed. Always seems easier for the lefties to make that play. So 1 out recorded. And the batter is Jerome Remeke. The defense for AWP. In the outfield, Jonathan Lynch in left, Juan Vala in center. Valdi Turkelson over in right. Around the infield, it's Fede and Fede. Olheiser at third, Adair at short. Cody Pennebecker holding down the second base bag. And the familiar face of Cisco Sabate, veteran player on this team, over at first. Ivan Sachs doing the catching, and as we mentioned, Brad Kilpatrick. Lefty threw very well yesterday as well. Member of the USA national team. Helped pitch them to a bronze medal back when. First time they hadn't medaled in quite some time. So Brad, a big part of that. Pretty good stuff. Works quickly. Doesn't waste a lot of time or effort. Comes right at the hitters. And once again, the patient, we're going to have to make a placard for Mr. Remeke with patience on it. Takes another walk. Walked twice on Friday, and then again a couple of times yesterday. So free base runners they will take. At the plate right now, Benny Noka in for a called strike. Benny with a couple of RBIs in yesterday's afternoon game. kept that machine rolling as they racked up the 11 runs. Mr. Anoka always good for some RBIs in that third spot. 8 in one game in the ISC World Tournament last year. 8 in one game. Think about that. That's a week or a month for some people. Good little curve, drops in for a called strike. AWP comes into this tournament ranked number 8 in the world. So the final 4 teams went according to Hoyle. The numbers 1, 3, and 4. Gremlins, Bear Creek, and the Drillers 1, 3, and 4. Meanwhile, Benny down on strikes looking for the second out of the inning. So the Lumberjacks rounded out 4 of the top 10 teams in the world. They came in at number 8. So earning their way to play on Sunday. Here's Eric Ochoa stepping in. In for a call, strike on the outside edge. So with Jack Besgrove, the lefty, always gives the hitters a different look coming from the left side. Now it's the Gremlins' turn to face one here in Kilpatrick. That one's in on the outside edge. So painting with a brush is Brad Kilpatrick, nibbling around the edges. The only safe place to throw these Gremlin hitters. Way upstairs with a rise ball. That one did not have a look at the strike zone. Looked like he tried to put a little extra oomph on that one. Defense for the Lumberjacks straight away. Corners right at the bag. That's Olheiser at third and Sabate at first. Just missing as he nibbles that outer edge against Ochoa. Eric with good power. He can pull the ball, but he'll use all of the field. Generally hit the ball where it's thrown. Way outside with that one. Remeke still down at first base. He reached on the 1-out walk now with 2 outs. Ochoa will need a gap to get him home. Our umpires on today's game, Jim Connor behind the plate from Manchester, Michigan. Brian Smith at first base, swinging a foul tip. That'll bring Remeke back. Brian Smith from Lansing, Michigan at first base. And the familiar face, Ed Otterman from Kitchener, Ontario, is the third umpire on the field right now, standing over near second base in position for a possible play there. Swing and a miss on a drop. So he went away, and then came down and in. Good pitch, so 2 strikeouts for Brad Kilpatrick. Good inning for the left-hander. For the Gremlins, no runs, no hits, no one left. We've played 1 inning here on Championship Sunday. No score. We'll be back with more great action. Come on back and join us. Top half of the second inning for the AWP Lumberjacks. They'll send up their 5, 6, and 7 hitters. That's Cody Pennebecker, Cisco Sabate, and Tyler Bully, the DP in this one. Juan Vala would follow if we get that far. If you joined us late, you've not missed too much. Scoreless first inning. Top of the first inning, the Lumberjacks had Turkelson leading off with a single. Did not score. And Ty Sebastian with a strikeout to end that inning. Brad Kilpatrick back-to-back strikeouts to end the Gremlin first inning, stranding a runner. So pretty even Steven on the ledger thus far. We're at the heart of the Lumberjack batting order. In for a called strike from Sebastian. The Lumberjacks, as we mentioned, from DuQuoin, Illinois. The Gremlins based in New York, but of course lots of international talent. These players come from all over. Wah in left field from Canada, Inoka in center from New Zealand. Redemar from Argentina in right field, swing and a miss on that one. Around the infield, Remeke from New Zealand, Cole Evans, New Zealand. Malarzuk from Argentina at second, and Eric Ochoa, pride of the USA national team, over at first base. His teammate Nick Mullins from the USA, and Ty Sebastian from Canada. So a great mix on the field, but home base is New York, so it's an all USA matchup here. The other game, as we mentioned, Northeast Drillers out of Virginia, USA, taking on Bear Creek Express from Canada. So that one appropriately a USA versus Canada, which fits the setting here in Port Huron as we set right at the edge of the border. The Blue Water Bridge off in the distance, leading from Port Huron, Michigan, over to Sarnia, Canada. And an inviting entrance for all the Canadian teams and players coming down this way. That one's laced into right field for a base hit. So just as Turkelson did, goes with the pitch and finds himself aboard with a base hit.
Number 10, Cisco Sabate.
That'll bring up Cisco Sabate. We mentioned Malarzuk of the Gremlins from Argentina, as is Redemar. That's where Cisco started his career. Longtime veteran. Gets a bunt, but it's popped up. Remeke will grab it. And the runner for, I think it's a runner over there for Pannebecker, will stay put. So Sabate not able to get the bunt down. Watch it on the replay, you'll see. Barrel goes down, I imagine. Little squish pop-up. The batter's Tyler Bully. Tyler, the DP in this one. Well, I just think of Bully as one of the young players in the game, but it was back in 2014 I first saw him up in Whitehorse. He was a member of the USA Junior national team at that time, playing for Coach Tim Lyon. USA head coach Ron Hackett over with his Northeast Drillers on the other field right now. Good power has Bully. Fouled off over on the left side, a little bit late on that one. Good location by Sebastian on the pitch. That one stays upstairs for a ball. And speaking of 2014 junior teams, Ty Sebastian in the circle was with the Canadian junior national team in 2014. So I'm guessing likely the two saw each other at some point. Now back here on the diamond of the senior men's level. In for a call, strike, and Bully knew it. Didn't argue that one. Quick snap throw by Mullins sends the runner back to first. So Bully down on strikes. That is out number 2. And we'll bring Juan Vala, the center fielder, to the plate. Misses downstairs for a ball. Talking about Sebastian, he won the ISC2 tournament in 2013, pitching with a team out of Midland, the Midland Emerson Aces, and then won an ISC with the Toronto Gators in 2016. So, like so many of these players, started at the junior level and worked his way up, gaining some great experience. A couple of teams not here on Sunday, the Ohio Bombers and Midland Explorers, will take away a great experience playing against this caliber team. They'll be better players for it down the stretch. Those two actually matched up on Friday night, had a very competitive match. Midland coming away a 5-4 winner. So good experience for those two teams here in Port Huron. Wanvala at the plate still. 2 outs, runner at first. Misses upstairs. Ty Sebastian, 2023 ISC Canada East Player of the Year, just last year. Foul tip and stays alive. So Ty Sebastian, regarded as many by as the best player, among the best players on the Toronto Batman team. They're a top 10 ISC team. Ty pitched in the championship game in 2023, the Canadian National Tournament, that 15-inning marathon we talked about. They beat Bear Creek Express. Meanwhile, swing and a miss, so back-to-back strikeouts to end the inning for Sebastian. For the Lumberjacks, no runs, a hit, a man left. We head to the home half of the second inning. You're watching the Port Huron tournament from Port Huron, Michigan, right here on the Gremlins Network. I'm Jim Flanagan, and we'll be back with more. Home half of the second inning for the Gremlins. They'll send up 4, 5, and 6. Evans, Hunter, and Redemar. While Zook would follow if we get that far. No score in this one. Just a final note on Ty Sebastian. I mentioned that he had pitched in that championship game at the Canadian Nationals and beat Bear Creek. It was actually Newfoundland. That tournament featuring the different province teams, of course. Sean Cleary, a member of Bear Creek Express and Newfoundland's finest. But regardless, an outstanding 2023 season for Ty Sebastian, and no surprise he finds himself here pitching in this one. Swing and a miss on that one by Evans, so he's in a hole 0-2. That one, a little high drop, stays upstairs. Kilpatrick's first year with the Lumberjacks. We had our first look at him down in Fort Myers, Florida, back in January during the exhibition season. Looked to be in good form then. And with that pitch, likewise, down on strikes goes Evans. That's 3 in a row for Kilpatrick.
Number 12, Blake Hunter.
And it'll bring Blake Hunter to the plate. Blake the DP in this one. Blake, very versatile player, did some catching yesterday. Now swinging a bat here. Lucio Redemar did not start yesterday's game, but finds himself in a starting role, waiting on deck. Lucio playing right field today. Another versatile player. He played left field yesterday. So the R boys, Waugh and Redemar, in opposite corners of the outfield with veteran Benny Noka in center. Just off the plate, Kilpatrick giving that one a long look, trying to talk it into the strike zone. Good drop ball, a little foul tip by Hunter. He saw it. Just got a piece of it. Good movement on that pitch from Kilpatrick. Two and two on Hunter. Swing and a miss on the drop ball. 4 strikeouts in a row for Brad Kilpatrick. 4 in the game, 2 outs in the inning, and Redemar will be the batter. Lucio Redemar, the hero last week in the Chiefs Challenge, hit a 3-run homer in the championship game to win it. A come from behind victory by the Gremlins. Came out here on Friday night. First batter of the game hit a home run. That one stood as the margin of victory in the Gremlins' 1-0 win over the Drillers. So Lucio picked up right where he left off last week. One of the hottest hitters on the Gremlins for the 2024 season, and there's an example why. Strokes that one up the middle for a single. That breaks the string of strikeouts and puts a runner aboard for the Gremlins. Lucio, as we mentioned, from Argentina, and at the plate his countryman, Ladislao Malarczuk. Laddie, a longtime member of this Gremlin squad, has found himself a comfortable home at second base. Off on the pitch is Redemar, and late getting to the bag behind the throw. 2-6 on that put out, and the side retired. 2 outs and a runner at first. You got to move them somehow. Unsuccessful on that one for the Gremlins in the inning. No runs, a hit, nobody left. We'll head to the 3rd inning and be back with more action. Championship Sunday from Port Huron, Michigan on the Gremlins Network. We'll be right back. Top half of the 3rd inning for the Lumberjacks. It'll be 9-1-2. That's Ivan Sachs in the 9 spot. Then back to the top of the shop to Valdi Turkelson and Fede Eder. Jonathan Lynch would follow if we get that far. That one's in for a called strike. That's Ty Sebastian in the circle. Nick Mullen doing the catching you see on your screen. And if you're doing a double take, if you're a Toronto Batman fan, that is Ty Sebastian. He's on loan for the weekend to the Gremlins. Upstairs, misses with that one. You'll notice the fans wearing jackets again today. It was cool on Friday night with a bit of 80s Fahrenheit. And today, a different story, a little breeze coming off the St. Clair River over to our right. Temperatures dropping substantially, so everybody dressed for the occasion, including yours truly. Little foul ball out of play on the right side. That'll just miss a car over there. There's giant signs right along behind the first base side that say foul ball territory. Think twice about parking or something to that effect, and there have been plenty over there. I parked a little further down the road, thank you very much. Misses upstairs with the rise. No score on the other game, by the way. A report in from the Beach Road field. That's the Drillers and the Express. Bear Creek, meanwhile, swinging a miss on the rise ball. Sacks down on strikes. They're in the top of the second inning, so just a little bit behind this game. That one's being scored live on the internet on the Game Changer app. If you have it, you can follow that one as you watch this one. If you don't, it's a good addition to your phone. Game Changer. Most or a lot of these top level teams all use that scoring. Helps you keep track of the lineups and what's going on in the game for those that aren't televised. Got a nice crisp email from someone this morning, a very succinct message. It said, stream more games. That one's lifted out into center field. Inoka backing up. He'll have room out there in center and make the catch for out number 2. To the person that emailed that, we agree. We'd love to see them all stream, but only so many cameras and so much personnel. We are delighted to be able to bring you these games as we have throughout the weekend. We had started with a schedule of 5. Planned to do 2 yesterday, had 1 rained out. But we'll be here for this one and the championship game on this Sunday in Port Huron. Hope you can stick around and see the end of this one. Fede Adair back at the plate as Turkelson retired for the second out. Jonathan Lynch waiting on deck. Little over the top drop, stays a little bit upstairs. Swing and a miss, good location from Sebastian. Ties up Adair inside with that one. Grounded foul over on the right side. You can't quite see it on your screen perhaps, but a squirrel has joined us over in the left field area. Lots of those running around along the St. Clair River area in beautiful Pine Grove Park. You'll see them all throughout. That one has decided to get a better view of the ball game. This is upstairs. Laced into left field. That one's going to be at least a single. He rounds first, and a good throw from Matthew Waugh keeps him there. That one could have gone for a double, but for the defense of Matthew Waugh. So Adair aboard. That is hit number 3 for the Lumberjacks. They've had one in each of the innings. It'll be up to Jonathan Lynch now to try and get him home. Jonathan, national team player for USA, shows bunt, pulls back, and slaps the ball. Foul out of play on the left side. Beautiful setting here in Port Huron, Pine Grove Park. The diamond you see on your field. Off in the distance, some beautiful homes who have been here for a long time. The very traditional look for this part of the country. Thomas Edison made his family home here at the age of 7 till he was 17. That would have been back in the mid-1800s. So it's a city that's been around for a while, well established. Swing and a miss on the changeup from Sebastian. Edison used to ride the train from Port Huron down to Detroit. Worked in the baggage car. Did some of his experiments and research in that baggage car. Put together his own newspaper that he would sell to the people on the train. Worked the telegraph. That one's lifted out into right field. It'll be Redemar coming on in front of Inoka to make the catch for out number 3. Side retired for the Lumberjacks. They get a hit, no runs, and a man left will head to the home half of the 3rd inning. No score in this semifinal matchup. Port Huron, Michigan tournament on the Gremlins Network. Home half of the 3rd inning for the Gremlins. They'll send up 8, 9, and 1. Malarzuk, Mullins, and then back to Matthew Waugh at the top of the order. No score. The Gremlins with just 1 hit thus far against Kilpatrick. He has 4 strikeouts through 2. Had 2 in the first to end the inning. Came right back with 2 more to start the second. Had 4 in a row before that string was broken up by Redemar's single. Lumberjacks with 3 hits, 1 in each inning, but have not been able to advance their runners or push one across. So we're tied at 0. Misses away with the ball. One and 2, advantage Kilpatrick. Swing and a miss, and down goes Malarzuk. Strikeout number 5 for Kilpatrick. Very effective left-hander this morning. There you see it on the replay. Looks like it's coming in the strike zone and then winds up moving away from the hitter. Here's Nick Mullins. Kilpatrick doing a little housekeeping out on the pitching plate. Just missing outside with that one. We talked about Edison and his work on the telegraph, and that, of course, the start of modern communications in the country and around the world. Wonder what he would think of streaming media. Appropriate, we find ourselves here in his former hometown. Luciano Lofrano, the modern-day Thomas Edison, with all of his equipment and transmitting the games by live video to fans around the world. Almost 200 years later. In for a called strike on that one from Kilpatrick. A nice museum down on the waterfront, just around the corner from this field, Thomas Edison Museum, and a nice statue along the St. Clair River. Got to look at those yesterday. He is a favorite son, no doubt, here in Port Huron. Lived here from the time he was 7 until he was 17. Grounded foul, just about takes out skipper Greg Leather. Some fancy footwork down there from Greg. Yours truly, also in Michigan at age 7. I didn't stay as long as Edison did. Headed for California out west, where I have been since. But we share that in common. Also, both newsboys. That one misses just downstairs. Kilpatrick thought he had it. In the days of Edison, they called them news butchers. They would take the papers and sell them to anyone they could. There's a base hit to left field in the 5.5 hole. Nick Mullins, nice piece of hitting there. Finds a spot in between Fede and Fede. Olheiser at third and
hitter number 16,
Adair at short. So back to the top of the order we go to Matthew Waugh. Waugh grounded out to Kilpatrick, back to the pitcher his first time up. Good location by Kilpatrick, just misses away from Waugh. He has been working that side of the plate on most all of the left-handers. Waugh, a leadoff hitter, but good power in the bat. You have to respect that power. Little breeze kicking up, not quite sure which direction it is blowing yet, but we'll see if it comes into play. Nothing too strong. There's a shallow fly ball out to center field. Coming on to make the catch is Juan Vala over in the gap in left center field. And back to first goes Nick Mullins. So the fly out number 2. It'll be up to Jerome Remeke. There you see the replay on Waugh, a little bit under that one. Remeke aboard with a walk in the first inning. Did not advance as the next 2 batters were retired by strikeouts. With 2 outs, we'll see if they turn Matthew Waugh loose on the bases. Tane Mumu, the New Zealander on the Gremlins, had a big stolen base in yesterday's game against Bear Creek. They were behind at the time 2-1. Skipper Greg Leather has been very aggressive with his base runners. It paid off yesterday. Tane stole second, got to third on the overthrow, and came home to score what was at that time the tying run. Got the Gremlin offense moving. Downstairs, the changeup off to the races is Matthew Waugh. He is DOA. 2-6 on the putout at second base. We'll come back to Remeke next inning, but for the Gremlins in this one, in the third, no runs, a hit, nobody left. We'll head to the top half of the 4th inning. Still no score. New York Gremlins and the AWP Lumberjacks giving them all they can handle. You're watching the Gremlins Network. We'll be back with more right after this. Top half of the fourth inning for the Lumberjacks. It'll be 4, 5, and 6. Olheiser, Pinnebecker, and Cisco Sabate. And I should say Fede Olheiser to lead things off. Update from the other field. They're in the top of the third inning. Still no score in that one. Adam Folkert has come on, it looks like, in place of Justin Schofield. Schofield shows throwing the first 2 innings. Adam Folkert coming on for Bear Creek. And on the other side of the ledger, Wimul Mata, the Argentine pitcher, tossing for the Northeast Drillers. We'll keep an eye on that one for you. Also remind you that you can find that score being updated on Game Changer. This game in front of you also on Game Changer if you like to follow it that way. Pop foul over on the right side. It'll be out of play. So I guess to the fellow that said stream more games, if you were planning on watching or hoping to watch that other game, we would point you to Game Changer to follow along. And if you're out and about and just want to listen to it, they actually have an audio. It's computer generated, but it works. I can tell you from experience, last weekend I listened to the Chiefs Challenge final day of play while I was on my all-day cycling ride. You can take Softball Premier TV with you just about anywhere you go. We are definitely spoiled from the days when we didn't have streaming video, and Softball Premier TV front and center. Biggest streamer of men's fast pitch in the world. Swing and a miss on a changeup, a good one. Mullins, the throw down to Ochoa to make sure.
Number 11, Cody Pinnebecker.
5 strikeouts for Ty Sebastian. Ty had 22 strikeouts in that 15-inning marathon last year in the Canadian National Championship game. Both he and his adversary, Sean Cleary from Newfoundland, went the distance in that 15-inning game. That is one for the ages. So Ty can rack up the strikeouts, comes with a good rise ball there. Pinnebecker fouls the next one off. So Sebastian ahead on a 1-2 count. Little change drop. Took a little bit off that one, misses away. In for a call, strike right at the knees. So back-to-back strikeouts here in the fourth. Number 6 on the day for Sebastian as he settles in. He had 1 strikeout in the first, 1 or 2 in the second. 1 more in the third, now 2 in a row here. It'll be up to Cisco Sabate for the Lumberjacks to try and get things going. Cisco also doubles as a pitcher, but now with the regular pitching staff in place, he grounds one up the middle. So every inning, a base hit for the Lumberjacks. Nice piece of hitting, just stayed behind that one. Didn't try and do too much with it. Got himself a base hit. He's aboard with 2 outs. It'll be Tyler Bully to try and get him home. Cisco will give way to a pinch runner. Can't quite make out the lineup card for AWP on that pinch runner. A little nubber out in front of the play. Ty Sebastian up with it and over to Ochoa. Nice play by Sebastian. Side retired. So once again, the Lumberjacks, one hit, no runs, and we head to the home half of the fourth inning. Still no score. Come on back. We'll be here. Home half of the fourth inning for the Gremlins. It'll be Jerome Remeke, who was left standing at home plate last inning when the runner was thrown out at second. So we're in the 2-3-4 spot. Remeke, Inoka, and Ochoa. Evans would follow. Weatherman says 58 degrees is our temperature, 58 degrees Fahrenheit. But with the wind chill factor, the wind's coming off the St. Clair River, feels much colder than that right now. Reminiscent of Chicago, when the winds come off the water, everything cools down in a hurry. That's what's happened here in Port Huron. But great weather to play ball in. Lots of pitchers like that cool weather. I was among them. I always preferred to play on a day like today than a hot, muggy day. Little drop ball on the outside edge in for a called strike. Good location once again. Kirkpatrick painting the outside edge away from the lefties. Comes in with that one. Remeke fouls it off. That one in on the hands of Jerome. You can work that outside edge so long, but you got to give them a different look from time to time. That was case in point. 2-2. That one's grounded up the middle for a base hit, and Remeke aboard for the second time today. On with a single.
Number 89, Ben Inoka.
So with nobody out, the Gremlins per chance an inning to score. It's Inoka at the plate right now. Benny with good power. He'll hit the gap. And that one goes down the right field line. Hard hit ball, but right there to make the play is Valdi Turkelson. Good athletic outfielder is Valdi. So one out, it'll bring up Eric Ochoa for the Gremlins. There you see on the replay. Good hitting by Benny, just goes the other way with it. Hard line shot, but Turkelson right where he needed to be. High hopper, it'll be Olheiser to pick up and make the play. Moving over to second base is Remeke. Eric didn't get a good piece of it, but bounced it high enough. Kept Remeke out of the double play. Watch the replay, you'll see. High hopper. So no double play. Gives Evans a chance to drive home a run with runner in scoring position now down at second base. Evans retired on a strikeout swinging first time to the plate. Defense for the Lumberjacks straight away. In for a called strike over the top drop. See a substitution that does not look like Cisco at first base for the Lumberjacks anymore. Didn't get a report. We'll update you when we can. Missing downstairs for a ball. Gremlins offense on the weekend has been up and down. Struggled to score runs, but against a very effective Martin Gonzalez for the Drillers on Friday night. Just 1 run scored. And then unloaded on the Ohio Bombers with 11 to start off the first inning of the next game. In for a called strike on Evans. Yesterday's game with Bear Creek, one of the best in the tournament so far. It was a seesaw battle. Gremlins led 1-0. Bear Creek took a 2-1 lead on a Travis Jones 2-run homer, only to have the Gremlins battle back with 4 late runs in the 6th to win it. In for a call, strike 3, and Evans down on strike side retired. For New York in the 4th, no runs, a hit, a man left at second base. We've played 4 complete, no score. Semifinal game, Championship Sunday, Port Huron tournament, Port Huron, Michigan, on the Gremlins Network. We'll be right back. Heading to the 5th inning and a pitching change for the Gremlins. Ty Sebastian will give way to another lefty. Familiar face, Jack Besgrove, the ace of the New York Gremlins staff, will come on here in the 5th inning. Lumberjacks will send up 8, 9, and 1. That's Vala, Sachs, and Turkelson. Update from the other diamond, still no score. Bottom of the 3rd inning over there, that's the Northeast Drillers and Bear Creek Express. Both of those teams finishing with 2-1 records in pool play. Both of those losses were to these New York Gremlins, so that's the reason the Gremlins are here on this diamond. Those two teams very well matched and playing like it with a 0-0 score, as we have here as well. Pitching the difference across the board, of course. If you're not scoring runs or if the teams are struggling to score, very often tied to effective pitching. We've seen lots of it all weekend here. Martin Gonzalez for the Drillers. Weston Schofield and company with Bear Creek. Mazulu Kwa from Botswana for Bear Creek yesterday was very effective for several innings, set down, I think, at one point 12 New York Gremlins in a row. Newcomer to Canada. We'll keep an eye on him. Right now, though, back to the action we go. 8, 9, and 1. It's Juan Vala at the plate. Strikeout victim first time up. That was against, of course, Sebastian. Now facing another lefty. And it doesn't get any easier. That one in for a called strike. Jack helped pitched his Australian national team to a qualifying berth to next year's World Cup. That was just barely a month ago, I think. Swing and a miss on the rise ball. Australia stumbled out of the gate in the qualifier, played down in Hermosillo, Mexico, but regrouped and relied on Besgrove's pitching down the stretch. He had 15 strikeouts in 2 games in that one, so very much helping carry that team into the World Cup. Swing and a miss is Vala. He comes up empty. First strikeout of the inning, first of the game for Besgrove. Sebastian finished with 6 strikeouts in his 4 scoreless innings. Surrendered just 4 hits and did not walk a man. Here's Ivan Sachs, the catcher, also struck out his first time up, and also that came against Sebastian, his first look at young Jack Besgrove. Ball misses upstairs. Hard to believe Jack is still just 20 years of age. He won't turn 21 till the end of this year. Already with a Canadian, or with a Australian gold medal from the juniors, Australian gold medal from the senior men's level, and then pitched his team into next year's World Cup. Add to that an ISC World Tournament Championship last year. Going to need a bigger trophy case for the youngster from Australia. Misses upstairs though with that one, so aboard with a one-out walk is Ivan Sachs, and it'll bring Valdi Turkelson to the plate. Turkelson, like Matthew Waugh and Redemar, good power out of the leadoff spot, so you have to be careful with him. Showing bunt here, pulls back and watches it in for a called strike. Wind kicking up a little bit, and it feels like it's coming at me, so it's not going to help balls hit to the outfield. Not sure we'll see any home runs this morning. In for a call strike. Lumberjacks have had a runner aboard every inning. Hits in the first 4, and the walk to Sachs now, putting him aboard in the 5th. They just haven't been able to move him over. Swing and a miss on a good hard rise ball away from Turkelson. So he is down on strikes. He'll take a spot as the runner for Ivan Sachs on the 2-out catcher rule. Give Ivan a chance to put his gear on. Turkelson, athletic, he runs well. We'll see if they may turn him loose with 2 outs. The batter, though, is Fede Eder. Fede aboard on a fielder's choice and had a single to left. His second time up, that against Sebastian, his first look at Jack Besgrove. Good hard drop, missing just off the plate outside. Jack pitched a complete game win on Friday night, the 1-0 win over the Northeast Drillers. Came on to close out the win yesterday against Bear Creek in relief. Pitched very well in both. Swing and a miss on a good rise ball. That one up and away from the lefty. Swing and a miss on the rise ball, down to second. Trying to steal. Goes in standing up and is safe. A throw a bit late. We'll have a conference of our umpires. Good chance to mention that in case you joined us and didn't hear it when we started the game. It's Jim Connors, the home plate umpire. He's from Manchester, Michigan. First base umpire is Brian Smith from Lansing, Michigan. And Ed Otterman from Kitchener, Ontario, Canada, over at third base. Sachs safe at second base, so he is first runner in scoring position since the first inning when Adair got to second base. Swing and a miss on that one. Down on strikes goes Adair. So all for naught. Once again, Lumberjacks get a runner aboard, cannot score. In the inning, no runs, no hits, no one left, or one man left. To the home half of the fifth we go. Championship Sunday semifinal matchup. The winner will advance to a showdown at noon championship game, taking on the winner of the Driller Bear Creek game. They are now in the fourth inning. Still no score in their game either. Runs, runs, runs. Where are they today? Come on back. We'll find out where. Blake Hunter will start things off for the Gremlins here in the fifth. Trying to create some offense for the Gremlins. He'll be followed by Redemar, Malarzuk, and possibly Mullins. Both starters, the starter for the Lumberjacks, Brad Kilpatrick, still in the game, pitching very well. Hunter, a strikeout victim, first time up, swinging variety. Hits that one down the left field line, loops it foul. Looked to be out in front just a little bit with that one. Kilpatrick taking a little bit off of the drop. Hunter with good power. The wind kicking up again, making me wish I had worn a third jacket instead of just the two I have on. But it's blowing in. The ball's not going to carry too well at the moment. Little number out in front of the plate. 2 strikes now on Blake Hunter. Just off the plate outside. Good location for a 2-strike pitch. Kirkpatrick taking a long look on that one, trying to coax it into the zone. 1-2. Misses away, same area. Does a little walk around the circle. Wanted that one. Just off the plate. 2-2 now. Hunter showing some patience, looking for a pitch he can drive. That one stays upstairs. He lays off. So he was away, and then came inside. We'll see what he does with a 3-2 pitch now. High hopper to short. Fede over to first for the out. Fede Adair on the 6-3 put out.
Number 21, Lucio Redemar.
Here's Lucio Redemar. Redemar aboard his first time up, had a base hit to center. See if he can continue his hot hitting. He is the leader in the hit category and RBIs for the Gremlins. In for a called strike on the outside edge. Kilpatrick pounding the outside part of the plate against the lefties all day long. Ground ball out to short. Fede Adair goes deep in the hole. Over to first for the out. Nice play by Fede. So back-to-back ground ball outs to short. Malarzik will bat with nobody aboard and 2 out. An adage some people adhere to, cold weather favors pitchers, warm weather favoring hitters. A lot of pitchers like the cooler weather, easy to throw more innings, more pitches without getting overheated. Ball doesn't tend to carry as much. And if it gets cold enough, hitters' hands on the bats. That one's lifted out into deep left field. It's going to carry. Running in a circle out there is Jonathan Lynch. Going to his left and then back to his right to make the catch. Side retired, easy inning for Brad Kilpatrick once again. No runs, no hits, and no one left. 5 in the books, 5 innings in the books, no score. Back for more right after this. Port Huron tournament on the Gremlins Network. Early getting late for both of these clubs. 1 run could do it in a game like this. 6th inning action with no score. I can hear my colleagues that broadcast last week's game tournament from Simcoe, Ontario. Very hot temperatures throughout that weekend. They would have gladly traded for some of the cool weather we're getting here in Port Huron. But I honestly think it's colder now than when we started an hour or so ago. The wind, a big factor with that. Here's Jonathan Lynch stepping in, so it's 3-4-5, heart of the order for the Lumberjacks. Swing and a miss late on the rise ball away. Lynch 0 for 2 on the day, popped out to short to Evans and flied to right to Retimar. Little change, drops in for a called strike. Lynch makes a face at the pitch. Surprise, perhaps. You don't see it very often from Bestgrove, but he's got a beauty. Uses it effectively when he does. Hard one away outside for a ball, 1-2. Sort of a waste pitch. Lynch didn't go looking for it. Defense for the Gremlins straight away. Anoka maybe a step or two shaded towards the right field foul line. That one's flared out of play on the left side. We'll do it again. Still no score on the other diamond. They're in the 5th inning in that one, just a little behind us. Northeast Drillers and Bear Creek Express. The winner of that one will advance to the championship game here at noon. Inside edge for a call strike. So first out of the inning recorded. Fede Olheiser will be next.
Number 8, Fede Olheiser.
Third strikeout for Bestgrove. Olheiser struck out twice. Both of those to Ty Sebastian, the starter for the Gremlins. Bestgrove coming on in the 5th to start a clean slate. Misses upstairs with a rise ball. In for a called strike, little over the top drop on the outside edge. Bestgrove with a pair of wins already in the tournament. Complete game victory on Friday night over the Drillers. Came on to win in relief against Bear Creek with the runs scoring late. Now pitching in relief here on Sunday. Ty Sebastian picking up the win yesterday against the Ohio Bombers. The 3rd win for the Gremlins. They are perfect thus far in the 2024 season. 6-0 last week at the Chiefs Challenge to win that tournament. But Lumberjacks giving them all they can handle here. Rise ball swing and a miss late. Lumberjacks have had a runner aboard every inning, had hits in the first 4 frames. A walk to a runner in the 5th. And now a walk to a runner here in the 6th. So the form continues.
Number 11, Cody Pannebecker.
Just a question of whether they can cash one in. Cody Pannebecker with a chance here. Try and move that runner over. Cody's 1 for 2 on the day, a single to right his first time up. Struck out looking last time. That was against Ty Sebastian on both counts. Lined foul over on the right side. That one finds a home in the bleachers. Oh, and 2, advantage Bestgrove. This is upstairs, the rise ball. Pannebecker does not chase. A ball and 2 on Pannebecker. Olheiser down at first. Swing and a miss late on the rise ball. Good location, good snap on that pitch from Bestgrove. Strikeout number 4, 2 outs in the inning, 2 strikeouts in the inning so far.
14, Frank Kimlinger.
Frank Kimlinger will come on to hit. That was in Cisco Sabate's spot on the lineup card if you're keeping one with us at home. Bestgrove misses upstairs for a ball. Right down the heart of Main Street with that one. Cuts the middle of the plate for a strike. Misses away upstairs for a ball. Swing and a miss on a roundhouse rise. That one starting about the letters, elevating way up over the shoulders. Misses upstairs. So the count runs full on Frank Kimlinger. And he in for a call strike on the outside edge. 3 strikeouts in the inning. Watch on the replay. Up and away from Kimlinger for the 3rd strike. To the home half of the 6th we go. No score in this one. Semifinal matchup. Quick update on the other game. Likewise, no score in their semifinal. The winners will meet at noon. Somebody's got to score some runs at some point. We'll be right back. Zero, zero, zero all over the place on my scorecard. Nick Mullins will start it off in the 6th for the Gremlins, so we're down to the 9 spot, then back to the top of the order to Matthew Waugh, Jerome Remeke, and perhaps Ben Inoka. In for a called strike. Yesterday's runs against Bear Creek, the 4 runs the Gremlins scored, came late in the 6th inning. They had just 1 up to that point and trailed 2-1. We'll see if they can put something together here and score late against the Lumberjacks. Always tough when you're the visiting team. Only looking at 1 more at-bat if you can take a lead like the Gremlins here. 3 outs and call it a day. Foul tips. So yesterday it was the youngster from Botswana, Madzulakwa, pitching for Bear Creek. Retired 12 in a row of the Gremlins, and this semifinal game, it's been Brad Kilpatrick pitching very well throughout, shutting out the Gremlins thus far. Grounder foul over on the left side. That one's laced into left field just beyond the reach of the diving Fede Olheiser. Mullins looked to be out in front of it, but with those strong forearms and wrists, just you see it there on the replay, fought it into left field for a single. So Mullins gives the Gremlins what they wanted, a leadoff runner aboard.
Top of the order, number 16, Matthew Waugh.
Tane Mumu will take his place as the runner for the Gremlins. It was Mumu yesterday with a big steal against Bear Creek late to start the Gremlin rally. They were behind at the time, stole second, went to third on the throw, and wound up tying the game. We'll see if he can advance in this situation. Right now, back to the top of the order, Matthew Waugh. Waugh, a ground out to Kilpatrick and a fly out to center. Gets the bunt down, foul. A number of the situations with the Gremlins attempting steals have come with 2 outs. Advantage here to skipper Greg Leather. He's got his speediest runner, Tane Mumu, aboard with nobody out. Bunt attempt and the throw down to first, just back in time. Good throw from Ivan Sachs, just about caught Tane off first base. Cody Pennebecker coming off a second base to try and catch the runner. That would have been a big turn of events. So Waugh not able to get the bunt down. He'll be swinging. Foul tips that one off his foot. Swing and a miss. Matthew Waugh down on strikes. Out number 1, so the Gremlins not able to move the runner over with nobody out.
Number 6, Jerome Remeke.
Had a quick timeout for the DoorDash driver, bringing our friend Luciano his morning donuts from Dunkin' Donuts. Everyone in the top row wanting to know if he shares. Rise ball misses upstairs for a ball. Luciano practically lives at the field all weekend. It takes several hours of setup and installation to get the gear ready, so we certainly can't blame him. He is a one-man show here with camera setup, cable installation, operating the dials and controls that give you all the great picture that we've been enjoying all weekend. Laced into left field, Remeke aboard with a base hit around second and sliding in safely. No throw at third is Mumu. Remeke, his second hit of the game, gives the Gremlins their first real look at a scoring opportunity.
Number 89, Ben Inoka.
So the Kiwis aboard at the corners. Tane Mumu over at third, Jerome Remeke at first, and that'll bring a visit from the skipper to talk about what they will do. So opportunity for Ben Inoka knocking at the door. We'll see what he does with it. Kilpatrick needing an out here. Got the strikeout of Waugh for the first out, but now in a perilous situation with runners at the corners, and he misses inside, hits Inoka. Just tried to come in too far. Looked like he caught him in the ribs. Certainly can't feel good on a cold Michigan morning. Watch the replay. Well, a little higher, hit him a little higher up than I thought. Benny still wincing over at first base. It'll take a moment for that to wear off, but he stays in the game. Remeke moving over to second base. Mumu still at third, and the skipper is going to go check on Benny to make sure he's okay. Hard pitch. Certainly not intentional in that spot. Just tried to come inside, not leave one out over the plate for Benny. He's okay. So Eric Ochoa with a golden opportunity here to break the game open. Runners at every base. Inoka at first, Remeke at second, and Mumu at third. Misses inside. The infield in for the Lumberjacks. Close, trying to cut off that run. Outfield normal depth. Base hit will score the runner easily, but it's the infield trying to choke it off. Kilpatrick misses away. That one comes out of the glove of Sachs. Kilpatrick coming down to the plate to make sure somebody's there. Game on the line here in the sixth. Bases loaded for the Gremlins. Laced foul out of play on the left side. Kilpatrick working away from the lefties again. Kilpatrick has been effective. He's kept the ball away from the center of the plate. Kept it away from the power of the Gremlins, just nibbling around the edges. He'll need to do that right here. Misses away. Two balls, two strikes on Ochoa. Remeke looking on over the shoulder of Kilpatrick from second base. Misses away, 3-2. So now Kilpatrick's nibbling around the edges, puts him in danger of walking in the only run of the game thus far. 3-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Good location by Kilpatrick, gets Ochoa. And it's 2 outs for the Gremlins. It'll be up to Cole Evans. Watch on the replay the location. Down out of the strike zone, safe place to throw it. And now Kilpatrick, an out away from escaping a bases loaded situation here in the sixth. Misses away for a ball. The inning started with Mullins single to left. Mumu came on to run for him. Waugh struck out. Remeke single to left, and Inoka hit by a pitch to load the bases. That's where we are. Laced into left field, but foul. A little further to the right, and the Gremlins would have had a pair.
Other semifinal of the Peach Road 0-0 after 5 innings.
No score in the other semifinal game, Drillers and Bear Creek. They're in the fifth. Lined up the middle for a base hit. Around third comes Remeke with the second run. No throw to the plate, they throw to second. But Cole Evans delivers with a 2-out bases loaded single, puts the Gremlins on top 2-0. The ball was just to the right of the second base bag. Mumu scoring easily. Remeke coming around right behind him. You'll see it on the replay here. Got a little bit too much of the middle of the plate. Evans driving the ball up the middle. Here's Blake Hunter, hits one down to third. Olheiser over to first for the out. Side retired, but the damage done. 2 runs in for the Gremlins. Cole Evans, the man of the hour, with a 2-run, 2-out single. We'll head to the seventh. 2-0 Gremlins in this semifinal. Jack Besgrove on his way to the circle looking for 3 outs to close things out and head to the championship game. So the Gremlins score late once again. They get a pair in the 6th inning on the 2-out run single from Cole Evans. They need 3 outs against the Lumberjack. Brad Kilpatrick of AWP has thrown an outstanding game, had held the Gremlins scoreless through 5, had only surrendered 3 hits. The 6th inning was the first time the Gremlins were able to string together a couple of hits. Mullins to lead things off, Remeke a key hit to move the runner, Inoka taking one for the team, so to speak, and then Evans delivering the big blow, 2-out single up the middle. Here's Tyler Bully for the Lumberjacks. Ball off the plate outside. 7-8-9, Bully, Vala, and Sachs. Turkelson, if they get that far. AWP able to put a runner aboard in every inning against the Gremlins. They just haven't scored. Swing and a miss, good location in under the hands of Bully. That one's lifted foul, out of play on the left side. Bully, USA national team member, and now a 10-year veteran coming up out of the junior program. Trying to get something going for the Lumberjacks here in the 7th. Lays off the high one. So Bestgrove with a 3-2 count now. Swing and a miss under the hands of Bully. Good location by Bestgrove. 1 out in the books.
Number 27, Juan Vala.
Juan Vala will step in. 2 strikeouts on the day so far, 0 for 2. One of those from Sebastian, one of those against Bestgrove. In for a call, strike on the outside part of the plate. In for a call, strike on the inside part of the plate. Bestgrove now working both sides of the plate. Bestgrove a complete game victory on Friday, a win in relief yesterday against Bear Creek, and trying to pick up a win in relief here against the Lumberjacks. Swing and a miss late on the rise ball. Down on strikes goes Vala. So Jack Bestgrove just 1 out away from pitching his team into the championship game in back-to-back weekends. It'll be up to Ivan Sachs to try and get it going for the Lumberjacks. Sachs 0 for 1. Struck out in a walk. That walk came against Bestgrove. Swing and a miss on the rise ball late. Still no score in the other semifinal. They are in the 6th now. In for a call, strike. So Bestgrove quickly ahead 0-2 against Ivan Sachs, trying to close out the Lumberjacks and carry his team to the championship game. Swing and a miss on the rise ball. Down on strikes he goes. Final score, New York Gremlins 2 and the AW Lumberjacks nothing. Very well played game by both clubs. Jack Bestgrove coming on in relief for Ty Sebastian. He'll pick up the win. Cole Evans, the man of the hour, with a 2-out, 2-run single to score the 2 runs in the 6th inning. The Gremlins will advance to a 12 o'clock noon championship game. Their opponent yet to be determined. The Northeast Drillers and Bear Creek Express still battling 0-0 on the other field. We'll have an update when we come back on the air. You can check on Game Changer if you want to follow the rest of that game to see the finish. But we'll be back at noon for the championship game from Port Huron, Michigan. You've been watching the Gremlins Network, courtesy of Softball Premier TV. I'm Jim Flanagan. We'll see you back at 12 noon Eastern Time.
For the latest in softball innovation, the website where you can experience the best tournaments in the Americas. Live games, news, tournaments, and much, much more. The best quality live softball, on demand so you can watch when you want. Become a Premier member now, softballpremiertv.com.